Good evening. Okaloosa County welcomes you to the public information meeting for the West 98 Collector Road Project Development and Environment, or PD&E study. During this meeting, we will present information on the county's proposed improvements for an east-west roadway corridor aimed to improve safety and enhance operations, being developed in coordination with Eglin Air Force Base and Hurlburt Field. Your feedback is important, and we have provided multiple ways for you to submit your questions and comments to us about the project during this meeting. Written questions will be answered in writing after the meeting. All written comments received by August 14th, 2025 will become part of the public meeting record. The purpose of tonight's public information meeting is to explain the West 98 Collector Road project and the PD&E study process, introduce the proposed alternatives, and obtain the community's feedback. This public meeting was advertised and is being conducted in accordance with state and federal requirements, including Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Public participation is solicited without regard to race, color, national origin, age, sex, religion, disability, or family status. Persons wishing to express their concerns relative to Okaloosa County compliance with Title VI may do so by contacting Jane Evans, Okaloosa County Title VI Non-Discrimination Coordinator, at jevans@myokaloosa.com. This information is displayed at the sign-in table, on the project website, and in the meeting notifications. This public information meeting was advertised in the Florida Administrative Register, on Okaloosa County's website, and in the Northwest Florida Daily News. In addition, elected and appointed officials, government agencies, adjacent property owners, and businesses were notified about this public meeting. This public information meeting is being held in accordance with the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969. NEPA requirements help ensure that environmental information is being made available to the public during the decision-making process and prior to actions being taken. The premise of NEPA is that the quality of federal decisions will be enhanced if proponents provide information to the public and involve the public in the planning process. This PD&E study is being developed to provide information to and obtain input from concerned citizens, agencies, private groups, residential and business, and governmental entities. The overall goal of this public information meeting is to help ensure that the study reflects the values and needs of the communities it is designed to benefit. A project development and environment, or PD&E study, is an environmental and engineering process developed by the Florida Department of Transportation to determine social, economic, natural, and physical environmental effects associated with a proposed transportation improvement project. The process follows procedures set forth in the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, of 1969, and federal and state laws and regulations. For this study, Okaloosa County is applying this protocol, even though this action is not under the jurisdiction of the Florida Department of Transportation. The study process requires the combined efforts of professional engineers, planners, and scientists who collect and analyze project-related information to develop the best solution to balance community, environmental, and transportation needs. An important component of the process is community engagement and agency coordination. The purposes of the proposed West 98 Collector Road project are to provide an alternative route option for military access and local traffic to support mobility and safety, establish a utility corridor for potential utility relocations in the event US 98 becomes widened to 6 lanes, and evaluate a connection to a potential Westgate project on Hurlburt Field. US 98 is a strategic intermodal system, or SIS route, in the panhandle of Florida from Pensacola to Panama City. The section of US 98 between the Santa Rosa County line and Hurlburt Field currently experiences heavy traffic congestion. Arterial roads like US 98 often have a supporting network of collector and local roads to help distribute the traffic. Some trips can be taken on local or collector roads and improve safety by reducing potential conflict points with turning traffic and providing an alternative route during incidents or unplanned events. Therefore, US 98 is forced to function like a collector road because there is no parallel facility to collect the local streets. Thus, there is a need for a new collector road parallel to US 98 to serve as an alternate route option for local traffic and military access in the unincorporated Florosa community. Therefore, this PD&E study will only evaluate an approximately 3.25-mile roadway from Solar Street to Green Drive and an approximately 2-mile utility corridor between Green Drive and the Santa Rosa County line. US 98 is the only east-west route in the area impacting the entire community, including the 4,100 Hurlburt Field personnel who live west of Hurlburt, as well as the thousands of personnel who must travel past Hurlburt Field to Eglin Air Force Base and beyond. This work to expand the Eglin Range easement and relocate the utility corridor should reap huge dividends for the military and our surrounding communities. The intent is to improve traffic on US 98 by relocating the direct access to Florosa Elementary from US 98. In the future, it will also provide a new access to Hurlburt Field by connecting to the planned new Hurlburt Field West Gate. Other benefits include better emergency response with more access options, creation of new route options during times of congestion and traffic incidents, and further network support when US 98 is widened to 6 lanes in the future as a separate action. Currently, residents in the unincorporated Florosa community do not have access to an alternate east-west collector road and must use US 98 for most local trips, including travel to schools, retail shops, and places of employment. There is a need for a collector road to provide residents making local trips with an alternative to using the heavily congested US 98 corridor. The following alternatives to the West 98 Collector Road project were previously considered: adjusting the school speed limit, adjusting school times and parent drop-offs, installing multi-use paths, adding traffic signals, extending the Cody Interchange on-ramp to Solar Street. These improvements could help, but no combination or inclusion of all are able to achieve significant safety and travel speed improvements needed for US 98. The West 98 Collector Road PD&E study consists of evaluating location and design concepts for an approximately 3.25-mile collector road and an approximately 2-mile utility corridor from just east of Solar Street to the Santa Rosa County line, located on property owned by Eglin Air Force Base. The West 98 Collector Road project is entirely on Air Force property, and the neighborhood connectors will be on Okaloosa County-owned land. Acquisition of privately owned property is not anticipated. The study will also evaluate stormwater requirements in order to minimize flooding between existing US 98 and the proposed West 98 Collector Road. The limits of the West 98 Collector Road are from US 98 east of Solar Street to Green Drive and will include a connection back to US 98 via one of the local roads near the western limits. Access points from the local roads to the Collector Road and US 98 will be evaluated during the PD&E study. The roadway typical section has not yet been determined, but is anticipated to be a 2-lane facility with a multi-use pathway on Eglin Air Force Base property. 2 alternatives are currently being evaluated. Alternative 1 consists of 2 12-foot lanes with curb and gutter on the outside. A 12-foot shared use path is provided along the south side of the roadway. Roadway stormwater will be collected in a closed drainage system via the curb and gutter. This alternative is known as an urban typical section. To minimize overall drainage impacts, off-site ditches will be utilized on both the north and south sides of the roadway to collect off-site stormwater flowing to the roadway. Alternative 2 consists of 2 12-foot lanes with 10-foot shoulders, 5 feet of which are paved. A 12-foot shared use path is provided along the south side of the roadway. Roadway stormwater will be collected in an open drainage system via roadside ditches. This alternative is known as a rural typical section. To minimize overall drainage impacts, off-site ditches will be utilized on both the north and south side of the roadway to collect off-site stormwater flowing to the roadway. The limits of the West 98 Collector Utility Corridor are from Green Drive to the Santa Rosa County line. Additionally, Hurlburt Field has asked Okaloosa County to evaluate a connection for a potential west gate and a new roadway that would provide enhanced connectivity to the area and connect the proposed West 98 Collector to Hurlburt Field. In the overall transportation development process, we are in the Project Development and Environment, or PD&E, study phase. Future project phases are design, right-of-way, and construction, and are not yet funded for implementation. This public information meeting is an important part of the PD&E study phase, where we seek input before identifying the preferred alternative. After considering public input, the engineering and environmental evaluation is completed, followed by a public hearing before a decision is made. Your input is an important part of this project. Comments and input received will be used to refine the alternatives and recommendations. There are multiple ways for you to participate. All public comments and questions are part of the public meeting record, and every method for providing input carries equal weight. While comments and questions will be accepted at any time, those submitted by August 14, 2025, 10 business days after the public meeting, will become part of the project's public meeting record. Written questions received within the comment period will be responded to in writing following the meeting. Attendees are encouraged to speak with project team members to ask questions and provide input. To submit a comment for the public meeting record, please complete a printed comment form and return it to project staff or place it in the designated comment box. As required by law, public comments provided during this public information meeting may be published in the final environmental document, which will be available to the public. To learn more about the project, visit myokaloosa.com/West98 Collector Road. Meeting materials displayed at the public meeting are posted on the project website. On behalf of Okaloosa County, thank you for attending this public meeting and providing your input on this project. If you have comments or questions after the meeting, please submit them by August 14, 2025. Have a good evening.